Hello, I'm Lieutenant Commander Kate Cunningham, and today I'm going to talk about the Talent Management Board process. I'll cover the following related topics: board announcement, graduate education programs, professional initiatives, legacy programs, submitting a package, and the board process. The Talent Management Board was established to reward top performers with additional shore duty and graduate education opportunities. Here's the fiscal year 22 Talent Management Board announcement from last year. This announcement typically gets released in May, ahead of the Talent Management Board convening in August. Applicants are not required to have signed the Department Head Retention Bonus, or DHRB, at the time of applying to the board, or at the time of the board convening. If an officer is selected for a talent management opportunity, they will have 7 to 10 calendar days from that notification to accept or deny the opportunity and submit their signed DHRB paperwork if they haven't already. Due to the close timing between the Department Head Screening Board and the Talent Management Board this year, officers are not required to be screened for Department Head in order to be eligible to submit a talent management application. If an officer is not screened for Department Head, submits a talent management application, and does not screen at the Department Head Screening Board, they will not be eligible for the talent management opportunities. Regardless of screening status this year, if you're interested in a talent management opportunity, please contact your detailer. The announcement contains all the important due dates and the board convening dates, so please read through it carefully. The board announcement lists out the specific graduate education programs. It includes an overview of the program along with the requirements and links to amplifying information on each. If you're interested in a program, please read through the available references prior to reaching out to your detailer. The announcement also lists the professional initiatives. Some of these do have additional requirements, such as having a TS/SCI clearance prior to reporting, having AEGIS experience, an AAWC qualification, or being a WITI. The legacy programs include the Naval Postgraduate School in Monterey, as well as both the Navy and Army War College. MPS Distance Learning, the Low Residency Graduate Education Program, and the Olmsted Scholarship are not awarded through the Talent Management Board and have their own application processes. Now that we've reviewed the available opportunities, let's talk about how to apply for the board. The program request sheet template can be found on the last page of the announcement. This will route through your commanding officer and is similar to submitting a slate. You'll work with your detailer to discuss timing and eligibility for the programs you're interested in and list your program preferences. There's no limit to the number of programs you can list, but be sure to list them in the order of your preference. Similar to slate preferences, you'll list your personal and professional priorities and explain your thought process behind those priorities. You'll also include your current PRD and the status of any funding you've already received for graduate education. Your package must include this application sheet and a letter of recommendation from your commanding officer. If applying for MPS, you must also include your APC calculation. If applying for any graduate education program or NROTC billet, you also need to include your undergraduate transcript. It does not have to be the official transcript copy sent from the registrar's office. Your package gets submitted to your detailer. If your detailer does not verify receipt within a week of you sending in your submission, please follow up so you are not disadvantaged due to a technical difficulty. Let's talk through how the board process works. All administrative and statutory boards are governed by an overall precept for their type of board, and then a convening order for the specific board. The Talent Management Board has its own precept that outlines the board process and provides guidance to the voting board members. It describes the purpose of the board and directs the voting members to be fair, equitable, and objective throughout the board process. Per the precept, the purpose of the Talent Management Board is to provide top talent SWOs with shore duty incentives to stay in the community as department heads, and it's up to the board to determine which top talent officers are ready for talent management assignments. Talent Management Board membership is organized by PERS 412 and comprised of 04 to 06 SWOs with diverse backgrounds who are invested in the community and stationed at PERS or BUPERS. The typical voting process for an administrative or statutory board involves a voting handset like you see here. The Talent Management Board is not an admin or statutory board, and instead of using a handset, votes are recorded on a voting sheet, but the confidence factor voting works the same. A vote of 100 indicates a record should absolutely be selected. A vote of 75 means a record should probably be selected. A vote of 50 is not sure. 25 indicates a record should probably not be selected, and 0 signifies a record should not be selected. Instead of voting on a singular select or not select for screening, the board members are voting if an officer should be selected across each program they've applied to. An unshaded box indicates that candidate included that billet or program on their preference list and should be evaluated by the board when their record gets briefed. The board member's confidence vote will be recorded in that box based on their confidence in that officer's ability to be successful in that program. The grayed out boxes next to each candidate indicates they did not list that program on their preference sheet. No vote is needed for that candidate in that program. FSEP is the most sought after and competitive talent management program, so boards are looking for elite applicants with advanced qualifications and strong historic academic standing. Tours with industry and professional exchange program candidates should be able to demonstrate that they're personable, able to operate with little supervision, and would be a great ambassador. GET, LEAD, and ROTC applicants will be shaping future SWOs, so boards are looking for top wardroom performers who invest in training others and are passionate about being SWOs. GEV is an opportunity to reward officers who have taken SWO community jobs who simultaneously want to complete their graduate education. The board will be looking for top performers who are invested in the community. On to the voting process. Each board member will have read the precept in advance, receive an in-brief from PERS 412 covering their responsibilities and the criteria for each program. At the conclusion of their in-brief, they'll have an opportunity to ask questions. The voting process will then begin. Each board member will have the full voting sheet in front of them, and the records will begin being displayed. The record display includes where the officer is currently stationed, advanced qualifications they've earned, and their complete performance summary report. The candidate's JO detailer will brief their record to the board for approximately 30 seconds. The detailer will brief the record similarly to an admin or statutory board and include FitRep trade average versus reporting senior cumulative average comparisons, soft versus hard breakouts the officer earned on their division officer tours, qualification overview, and letter of recommendation highlights. The board member will then record on their vote sheet the confidence factor they believe the officer deserves for each program the officer is applying for. Even if an officer is applying for multiple programs, their record will only be briefed once, and their record will be graded for all programs at that time of briefing. The signing of DHRB is not briefed and should not be considered when voting. Board members are voting for the best and fully qualified officers and should also not be comparing records against each other, but instead against the best and fully qualified standard. After all the records have been briefed and voted, the vote sheets are compiled by PERS 412, and each officer is sorted and ranked by the highest overall confidence score average they received from the board for each program they were applying for. The PERS 412 team will go one program at a time for the assignment process. Each talent management program will have a total amount of quotas allocated to the surface community. Let's walk through an example using FSEP, the In-Residence Graduate Education Program. Last year, there were 8 SWO FSEP quotas. 38 officers listed FSEP in their preference sheet. Those 38 officers were sorted in the order of the overall average confidence factor they received from the board. The JO short coordinator and detailers will start with the officer who listed FSEP on their preference and received the highest overall confidence score relative to the other 38 applicants. They'll look at that officer's preference sheet to see if FSEP was their number one choice. If it was, they'll have priority assignment to FSEP, and their timing will be used to determine the program that would best fit the officer's priorities. If FSEP wasn't their top preference, the short coordinator and detailers will move on to the next highest ranked FSEP officer. This is why listing your programs in the order that you want and providing amplifying information is critical in the program assignment process. After the quotas have been filled for that program, the PERS 412 team will move on to the next program and work through assignments using the same process. Once all assignments are complete, the talent management program and billet assignments get routed to the PERS 412 branch head and onto the PERS 41 director for final approval. Notification emails then get sent from PERS 412 to each selected officer, and that officer will have 7 to 10 days to accept or deny the opportunity. If they accept, they'll have to submit their signed DHRB paperwork if they haven't already. If they deny the opportunity, they'll participate on the next scheduled JO short slate. In summary, we reviewed the following topics: board announcement, graduate education programs, professional initiatives, legacy programs, submitting a package, and the board process. If you have any questions, please email me at go_swo@navy.mil or reach out to your detailer. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to watch this. Have a wonderful rest of your day.